We started out the weekend playing at Iowa, and a much improved Hawkeye squad that can give a lot of issues with primarily just their range of being able to set the quick, and you don't see too many teams, especially in our league, that are setting their middles and running quicks 18 feet off the net. I'm pretty sure in the third set, their libero bump set a couple quicks, and that really happens. And and I thought our team got better with that. That was one of the things we were a little concerned going in, is our ability to just stay calm, because you think the ball is going to go one area and it goes somewhere else, because they've got a couple setters that are kind of gunslingers. And I thought we got better and improved with that as the match went on. I thought there were some great rallies in that. Then coming back and playing Michigan on Sunday, against a team that has been together for a while. I mean, those are players. I think a lot of them are juniors and seniors and have been playing together for a while. And I thought our team did a good job in that match of just kind of battling and stay with it. I thought there were some really fantastic rallies. I thought that our setters did a really good job of how they were running the offense throughout the match. So, good weekend. We've got Michigan State, and I think the coaching staff there has done a really good job in that transition, and they've been knocking on the door, some in the Big Ten, but we're looking forward to getting our first look at them this week, and then having Michigan again, 7 days after we just played them. So I think we'll have them on Sundays at their place. So another opportunity, and I think we'll be halfway through the Big Ten after this weekend. So. Yeah.
I heard you guys talk about that Sarah's going to be named Big Ten Player of the Week, right? Well, it'll come out. Will it be out by my 6 p.m. show, hopefully? Okay, by the time. Okay. Well, this will air.
Is this press conference going to be put out before 2 o'clock, though?
We'll just delay it until
Okay. All right. Great job. Great job. Man, it's all about you, isn't it?
Well, now that we have you, I want to ask you about, how has Sarah been as an asset for the team?
Yeah.
Specifically, what did she give you guys this weekend? And then in addition to that, not that you can speak for her, but what is it kind of like to go and play the team that you just transferred from? What is that kind of experience like for her? Is that an added distraction, or how has she been handling that?
Sarah is such an important player for us. It's she can impact the match in a lot of different ways, right? It's a 6 rotation player and passes really well. We're not trying to hide her in the serve receive pattern. I mean, she takes a good chunk of the of real estate, whether she's front row or back row when she's passing. She's got a heavy arm at the net. Her blocking continues to get better. She's putting up pretty good blocking numbers and attacking out of the back row. And we saw her being able to close out the set yesterday from behind the service line. And, she's working on, there's a lot of things that she's focusing on technically right now. It's trying to, that she's working at diligently to try to get better. I like the patience that she has had as those adjustments have, she's been working through that, and I think we're seeing it pay off in different ways as we're moving through, and I know she's a little bit frustrated a little bit at times with maybe inconsistencies, and we're fine with that. She's that's what this part of the season is about. She's a really important player, and I love her competitiveness and her joy of playing the game. Going back and playing against an old school that you just, I mean, that is an interesting thing, right? But it might not be, it's a new coaching staff that she didn't work with, and I know a lot of the players that she played with are no longer there due to either graduation or transfer. So. Yeah, but it'll be a home match for us rather than going back there. But those are it's a new world. I mean, there's a lot of people that are experiencing playing against old teams, and we see that right now in the transfer portal. People aren't just going to another conference, or a lot of them are transferring within leagues. But I'm sure when the moment gets here, she'll put it in its right place and play. I haven't heard anything but gratitude when she speaks about her former school. I haven't heard any animosity towards anything. I think it's appreciation for what she did, and I know there are teammates she still keeps in contact with. So.
Kelly, it looks like so far Chanel's kind of settled in. You're using her, serving, and as a player who was, we kind of talked mostly about her as a defensive specialist and a libero or a libero, as the volleyball.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
We like to call it.
Yeah.
But I guess I just wanted to ask you more, just on kind of what have you seen from that aspect of her game, and was that an aspect of her game that even before she got here, that you thought was, a really key part of what she does?
It was really cool, the fans' reaction when she came out. Came into the match on Sunday. That was, I touched base with her briefly after the match. She was really moved emotionally by that, and then really had to get her self-talk under control, making sure that she wasn't thinking, "Don't miss this serve." You can't go in there and bury it at the bottom of the net after waiting 14 matches and then walks in on a standing ovation. But she, put in a really, really good ball, and we ended up with a great Anna Smrek transition kill. Chanel obviously has a lot of experience. She started for some high-level teams, played in the Final Four, been a starting bro. We'll give you another one, in libero bro, or Lieb. If she was in that role, we'd feel very, very good about it. I mean, we've got a lot of confidence in her, it's a tough spot to break into. But she could be a serving specialist. She can come in and DS. She was barking at me yesterday that to set her out of the back row, that she can hit some pipes. I haven't really seen that, but she was telling me that during the match, and then made sure to get in my ear about that after the match. So that apparently we're going to be looking at that a little bit in practice this week. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to all of this plays out. But we've got a lot of different options for those things. But we've also got to be mindful of how many subs we're utilizing. I mean, we were knocking on the door. We were either at 14 or 15, I think, all 4 sets this past weekend. And, so there's, there may be some people on our bench that can help us out scoring some, a point or two or here or there. But you've got to weigh that of how fast we're blasting through subs. And if it's a side-out game, back and forth, you go through these subs really, really quick versus when you're point scoring at a high level. A server goes back there and they're scoring 3 or 4 serves off their serve, and the next one goes back there and they're serving 3 or 4. The games are a little bit shorter, and you can sub a little bit more liberally. But with 15 subs and us running a 6-2, you can blow through them really quick. But we're glad to have her back.
Kelly, Izzy Ashburn coming off, I think, 33 assists yesterday, too. I mean, by far seems like the assist leader on this team. Just what are you seeing in her performance, and How does she make the teammates better out there?
Yeah, I mean, Izzy. I mean, we've got two setters. We feel really good with both of them. Izzy is the one that has been setting and has been starting the matches. Although in the fourth set we spun the dial, we rotated, and MJ started in the right back position and went across. And we really liked the matchups that they gave us. It's Izzy's going to most likely lead her team in assists from match to match because since she is starting, she's, I think on average teams are rotating about 2.5 times around, which would mean she would probably be in 3 times, and MJ would probably be across twice, on average. So she's probably going to get more opportunities to do it. But I've been really happy with the progress that both setters have made throughout the season. I think Izzy is, she's gotten a lot better with her back sets. She's really comfortable running quicks. She's going to the back row a little bit more than what she was. MJ's serve has really come on. She's, I think her sets to the left side have really gotten better. They were a little bit iffy coming out of the gate. Her connections are getting a lot better. To our left side and our back row, I've been really happy with their progress. It's and I like the confidence and how they carry themselves with and how they run the court, how they run their teammates. That's one of the joys about coaching is when you're seeing people get better and the things that you're working on in the gym play out in matches, and we're certainly seeing that with both of our setters.
You have one of the best middle blocking duos in the country
Yeah.
in Danielle Hart and Caroline Crawford. Can you just talk about how they kind of feed off each other and how well just the team as an overhaul is blocking?
Yeah, there's it starts with mentality that I see with both of them. I mean, they feel like they should be stuffing every ball, or they should be getting good touches on every single ball. There's a relentlessness about both of them. They take their craft very, very seriously. I mean, the amount of film study that both of them are doing to try to get cleaner with their reads and their footwork and their hand positioning. They're leading in blocks because it's really important to them. But they're also that they've got good blockers next to them. I mean, Devin and Anna over there on the right side can really give some people problems, and then on the left, Yulia and Sarah, both those guys are pretty solid blockers that are putting up pretty good numbers. But but it's an area that we feel like we can get better at even more. I didn't think we were great blocking the first set against Michigan. I thought we were really good in the second set. We made some great adjustments, got a lot of stuff, but more importantly, a lot of really positive touches that our backcourt could eat up, and we were getting our transition game a lot better. But it's they're working at it.